are now plugged into Hooked on Sonics with Bruce and Tony Kong.
And we're live.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Hooked on Sonics. I am one of your two hosts, Bruce over here, and over there, my brother from another mother, the one, the only, Tone Capone. Uh, Fantastic episode for you guys this week. Our first Tri Megasode episode of this season, season 3 already. Brought to you by our last week's guest, the Dictators. Let's see, Albert. How do you say his last name? Boucher?
Albert Bouchard.
Bouchard.
I
That's
believe it's
right.
Bouchard. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
An original
Albert.
founding member of Blue Oyster Cult.
Cult. That's right. Albert Bouchard gave us a new album from Tom Bukovac and Guthrie Trapp called In Stereo. Um, and then Andy Sheernoff, he gave us Doug Sam and his band self-titled debut. And then, last but certainly not least, Keith Roth, their new singer, gave us the self-titled debut and only release from Imperial Drag, a 90s alternative band. So lots to get into on that. And of course, I'm sure other stuff will come up. Before we get into all this cool shit, Tone, I just want to know, how are you?
I am good. Bit of a stressful day today. Had a lot to get done. I didn't get everything accomplished, but we're going to work on getting that taken care of by tomorrow morning so that we can get ready to get this house together for Thanksgiving. Because we do
Ooh.
our Thanksgiving a week early here at our house for my side of the family and people that I would like to have over. And then we go out on Thanksgiving Day to one of the local lodges, such as Deer Creek, or we'll be going to Salt Fork this year, and they do a
Moose
thanks.
Lodge?
No, you know what I'm talking about. The parks and recreation lodges.
Yep.
Deer Creek does a dinner every year on Thanksgiving, and so does Salt Fork Lodge. We went out to Salt Fork last year. I wasn't overly impressed. We're going to give it another shot this year. Um, we've been to Deer Creek a couple times. It's been hit or miss. You pay about 30, somewhere between 30 and 45 bucks. But the deal with that is you get to eat as much as you want. It's a full course meal with several different options, and you get to see a beautiful park, beautiful lodge, and there's no cleanup afterwards. So, you know, you take the good with the bad, and that's the way it is.
And that's the facts of life.
That is the facts of life. You took it right out of my mouth. So with that being said, look forward to doing it. We'll be taking my niece this year down to the Salt Fork Lodge. And then on our Thanksgiving, we're going to get everything set up for our Secret Santa with the family. So other than that, that's been about it. I would also like to say to all the listeners of this evening, good evening. And I just want to point out something here real quick, guys. We know that you guys are out there watching. We know that you guys are out there listening. We can see it through what we have out there. Now, while there doesn't seem to be a ton of you guys out there does seem to be a good portion of you guys out there. And I get the feeling that you guys are music lovers and you know other music lovers. What I'm going to ask is that you take the time to share this stuff with us. If you see one of our album reviews or you listen to one of our albums that we've reviewed and you liked it as well, or you have something to say on it, please comment down there at YouTube. Please let us know that you're out there listening, watching. We want to know that. Share that information on Facebook, anywhere social media with your friends, family, any other music lovers. They're going to find what we do interesting because we touch on all bases of music. If you have an album you would like us to review, something that you think is prominent that just recently came out, or something you just like to hear our honest opinion on, please shoot us a message. We'll find it anywhere. You can reach us at Hooked on Sonics at Facebook. You can reach us at, you can private message us on Facebook. You can also reach us at any of the YouTube thing. Just hit a comment out there and say, hey, we're with blah, blah, blah. We take a look at those things. we're looking for you to be just as interactive as we want you to be. We want to hear from you. We want to know what it is you like, what it is you don't like. Um, we're having a good time doing this and we want to keep doing this, but we'd like to see some more subscribers and see some more people interacting. And we want you to be a part of that. We're on all your top streaming services, Spotify, iHeart, Apple, we're everywhere. We're absolutely everywhere. So you don't have to directly share some our YouTube videos. If you know somebody who likes to listen to podcasts and is interested in music, likes talking about music or hearing conversation about music, shoot us over to them in any form of that streaming service, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iHeart. We're out there. We're out there and we love you. And we appreciate every one of you guys out there doing that. We like to see those likes. We like to see those comments. We like to see those subscriptions go up. Guys, we're not in this for the money. This isn't a labor of love. This isn't just a labor of love for us. We're lovers of music, just as much as you guys are lovers of music. So you got a music fan or friend in your life, turn us on, send them our way. We'd love to hear what they have to say. We'd love to hear anything they'd like to hear for us to review. We are open to just about everything. And if tonight's program doesn't entertain that idea, I don't know what to tell you. We do Tri Megasodes all the time. You'll get sometimes 2 or 3 of them in a season, maybe even 4, depends on what it calls for. If you are an artist that would like to just have us discuss your new album, it doesn't matter. We'd like to do that, but please be prepared for an honest review. This is what we feel about these albums. We're not always going to agree, and you're not always going to agree with us. And we're no Siskel and Ebert, but we are Tone and Bruce. You know what I mean? We are Tone and Bruce, and we want to hear from you guys. We're having a good time doing this. Show us that you're having a good time with us. Once again, hit that like, comment, subscribe, and we'll look forward to seeing and hearing from you all here in the near future. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for being a fan of Hooked on Sonics. We love and appreciate every one of you. Bruce, anything you'd like to add to that?
We'd appreciate you a lot more if you actually shared and interacted with us. Other than that, we love you very, very much.
Indeed.
Yeah.
With that being said,
Mhm.
Bruce, we have 3 albums to review tonight.
Yeah, dude.
Do we have any news that is absolutely direly important?
Well, first, let me show you a couple little things that I got this week, or this past week.
Okay.
All right. First off, this is an out-of-print album. It was released CD only. David Lee Roth, the DLR band, David Lee Roth. It's an album that he came out with in '97, featuring John 5 before he was John 5 on this album.
Really?
Yeah, it is the last great rock album that David Lee Roth ever put out. It's fucking good. Really good.
I mean, if it's got John 5 on it, I imagine it's
Yes.
pretty solid. Who's on drums?
Brett Tuggle, no, Brett Tuggle's on keyboards. I don't remember. So, really good album. I recommend anyone picking this up. It's the last great, really, really solid David Lee Roth album, front to cover.
Good.
And in honor of our friend Albert coming in from Blue Oyster Cult, I picked up their first live album, On Your Feet or On Your Knees. Really
Nice.
cool double LP.
Nice.
Yep. And this covers like the first four or 5 albums that they put out. So
what else on there?
Let's see. The Bed and the Black, Harvester of Eyes, Subhuman. They did a cover of Born to Be Wild, and then Cities on Flame.
Cities, yeah.
Yep, Cities on Flame. Albert sang on that.
Dude, do you know who did a great cover of that? Church of Misery.
Really?
Swear my hand to God. Absolutely love their version of it too, and
nice.
It's one of the great. It's a great song. I mean, Blue Oyster Cult's had so many, so you could go through their greatest hits and let that thing spin.
Yep.
But I have yet to hear a bad Blue Oyster Cult album, and but I haven't listened to everything. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
I'm just a lot more familiar with some of the earlier stuff, and
Yeah, this is
obviously
all
Don't Fear
earlier.
the Reefer, and you
Yep.
know, so
Yep. So really cool album. It's one of their better live albums. I guess they come out with two or three. The second one they came out with was really heavy on synth. It's like, eh.
have you ever seen Blue Oyster Cult?
No.
I've seen them twice. I actually
Okay.
seen them on my birthday down at Promo West, Red, White, and Boom.
Nice.
Amazing, dude.
Nice.
Mhm.
What you been listening to?
Obviously, these three albums that were given to us by our guest.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to some Church of Misery this week, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
And then what else was I listening to this week? Some Bourne. I was listening to
Okay.
some Bourne. And then some Dorothea Cottrell and Windhand.
Nice.
Yep. I got to buy that album, dude. I've got to get off my ass and buy that album. Speaking of which, you have some stickers that you picked up for us.
I did.
And I believe I am working on getting us some back glass window stickers.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got some business cards happening.
Mm-hmm.
Couple things I wanted to ask you there.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to, maybe send some stickers out there to a lucky fan or three?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. If anyone's interested in a sticker or two, just let us know, and we'll see what we can come up with.
Exactly.
Yep.
And if this seems to be something that you guys dig, we might be looking into getting some Hooked on Sonic's logo T-shirts for you. Um, Definitely want to see how the merchandise thing works out for us.
Merchandising.
We're not trying to make a fortune off of it, believe that. We want to share you being able to share us with everybody else. So
Mm-hmm.
um, let's say this for tonight's episode, the first three commenters will reach out, get your information, and we'll send you a couple Hooked on Sonic stickers.
There you go.
Okay, one for
First
your
three.
car and one for work.
That's right.
All right. Now, I don't have any other major news than that. I don't really want to get into any major news. The only major news that I would get into is something I'd rather not discuss on the show. So,
Okay.
because I'm
Uh,
absolutely fucking livid. Um,
now I
but
gotta know. No?
just a conversation about long range missiles into Russia.
Oh yeah,
But
let's not. Yeah, no.
it's just it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's fucking embarrassing. Um,
Hey, real quick, I did see that AC/DC is possibly going on a North American tour
I saw
next
that
coming
too.
year.
I did see that too. Shows that I may go or you may see me out at. I may try to make the Dope Throne show at the Ace of Cups on the 26th if I can make that work out. I may go see. I'm really leaning towards going to see Nile with 6 Feet Under. I'm a big 6 Feet Under fan, especially the first few albums. I've never seen 6 Feet Under live. I know that Barnes gets a lot of shit for his screech vocals at some point in time, but he is, one of the godfathers of death metal, even if he is the grandfather of death metal, if that's what you want to call him.
Yeah.
But I love a lot of the 6 Feet Under stuff, especially the early stuff. So I'm thinking about going to see that. I think that happens in January at the King of Clubs. But other than that, man, I've got nothing really major. I really want to get into these album reviews. And
All
that's what
right.
I wanted to ask you. Which one do you want to go over first?
Well, we can do it in the order that they were given to us, um, which would be In Stereo, then the Doug Sam Band, and Imperial Drag. Or we can get to it however you reviewed it. It doesn't matter.
Whatever you want to do first, man. I'm with you. I'm actually going to fix my rating on the Imperial Drag.
Ah, last minute decision, folks. Uh,
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's start with the one that Albert Bouchard gave us. Tom Bukovac and Guthrie Trapp in stereo. It was just released earlier this year, around May 1st. Um, Tom is an Ohio boy, and he played on over 1,200 albums, including with the Black Keys, Glenn Campbell, Reba McEntire, Lionel Richie, Kid Rock, all kinds of people. So he's a very established Nashville player, and so is Guthrie Trapp. He's played with a lot of people as well.
Such
Um,
as
I don't. There wasn't a lot of info on there, but he's been part of that Nashville sound for a while now.
they sound like
So
session musicians.
yeah, they are. They're definitely session musicians, um, and so I think they put a uh, pretty interesting album together. Like I said, it's called In Stereo. I guess first, what's kind of your general overview of how this album sounded to you?
My notes that I wrote off that's not on the song, at the sides of the
Hmm.
songs are love the production, instrumental guitar unison. I love it. I love instrumental music. This album is instrumental. People should be aware of that.
Yes.
Uh, it's easy to listen to. Just let it spin, and it's very atmospheric at times. Um, with that being said, that's my take on it.
Yeah.
That's my overall take on it.
Yeah, I put ethereal guitars, just very open and just very like a soundscape, like one of those soundscape CDs that, we used to get and stuff. Just a really, it's jazzy, it's rock, it's easy listening, it covers a lot of different beats. Um, so that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
So, no.
Well, what'd you think of the first song there? Where's the Bluegrass Band?
Well, where's the Bluegrass Band? It's a short little opener. Again, very kind of mystical, kind of spacey type thing. Wasn't very long. Not much to it. I gave it a B. It was more of an intro into the next song. What'd you think?
I thought it was cool. I thought it was a very cool intro, short,
Hmm.
like you said,
Hmm.
but I scored it a little bit higher. I gave it an A. I thought,
Okay.
what an introduction to an instrumental album. Short, sweet, to the point, kind of sets the pace for some of the stuff that's across the album.
Hmm.
But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was I think if it could have went maybe half a minute, maybe another minute longer,
Yeah.
it would have really resonated a little bit better,
Hmm.
if that made sense. But I didn't see anything really wrong with it. I gave it an A.
Yeah. Okay. Next up was The Window. What'd you put on there?
I gave this an A plus.
Hmm.
This was where I was like, okay, I feel like I know what I'm getting into
Hmm.
here. Love the atmospheric jam vibe is what I wrote beside that.
Yep. I gave it an A plus as well. Put in here, it's a lulling intro, and then gradually gets into a really slow, slick riff. The guitars really shine on this track, especially, and it really amps up as it goes along. So the pace kind of quickens. The the sound just really beefs up as it goes along. A plus. It's a really good standout track on this album so far.
I would agree with you on that one.
Yep.
All right. What'd you think of On the Spectrum, track three?
Let's see. A little bit of a reggae feel. It kind of felt like a demo, like from a production standpoint, kind of felt like a demo to me. Um, the drums are really full in it though. Um, Nice guitar crescendo in the middle, um, and it goes into a really cool keyboard piece. Really interesting there. I gave it an A. Um, it's just a solid song.
I gave it an A as well. I
Hmm.
said it was a great track and there was some killer playing on it.
Yeah.
Dude, I cannot get over the guitar play between these guys. It's
Hmm.
so fun at times. It's beautiful all the time, but there becomes this really cool, playful thing that you could see going on, and you got to kind of wonder, were they in the studio doing it live? Like
It felt like it,
it,
you
it,
know?
it really kind of felt like it, man. And I'm not going to say that they did. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I could tell you, man, it sounded to me like these guys had a lot of fun putting this thing together,
Yeah,
and it shows.
you can definitely tell there's a chemistry throughout this album.
Yeah.
A really good chemistry. Like they were completely on the same page for this album. So,
Yeah,
uh,
it's a great track, man.
yep, yep. Let's see. That was on the spectrum. Next up is format trajectories. It's a funky little riff. It was a straight drum beat. Kind of reminded me of a jam band type feel. The drums really shine in with the fills. And it kind of reminded me, kind of had a Pink Floyd vibe at about the 2 minute 45 second mark.
Mm.
A little bit.
Are you thinking about the same track?
Yes, I am.
We'll see.
I gave it an A. I really enjoyed this song. I like jam band stuff anyway, so but the drums really just pushed this over the edge for me. I really enjoyed this song.
I gave it an A as well. I
Hmm.
said it was a mellow, relaxing jam.
Hmm.
That's my notes beside that. I can't stress enough how much we're, kind of getting up on the halfway point of this album, and I've really, really enjoyed everything so far.
Hmm.
I'm really vibing with the album at this point, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving on to track 5, The Black Cloud. This is why I made the statement I just made a second ago.
Hmm.
I found this to be dreamy and mellow with a Pink Floyd vibe.
Ah, now this is my notes I had on it. Very dreamy and melancholy. Really cool slide guitar, which kind of fits into your Pink Floyd type vibe.
Yeah,
I definitely get that on here too. That slide guitar through that reverb thing was really cool. At that 2 minute mark, that was so cool. And then at the 3 minute mark, the guitar really kicks up a notch. Really, very fucking cool song. I gave this an A plus.
I gave it a solid A. I mean, it probably could have gotten an A plus from me, but I didn't give it an A plus. I just gave it an
Yeah,
A.
yeah,
I really liked it. Like I said, we're up at the almost the halfway point of this album, and I'm absolutely digging this album.
yeah,
Like I love instrumental stuff. I always have. And I think that you've learned to appreciate a little more instrumental stuff over the course of the show because I've
yeah.
dumped some pretty good instrumental stuff on you. You
Yeah,
know what I
and
mean?
pure instrumental stuff is typically not my forte. Like I enjoy instrumental songs, but whole albums sometimes it gets a little wearing on me sometimes. But again, we're halfway through this album and it's not wearing at all.
It kept it interesting. It kept
Yes.
it comfortable. It was, once again, I want to reiterate, easy to freaking listen to.
Yep.
Very easy to listen to. Let it spin, let it do its thing. You're going to catch some cool things here. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful album to this point.
Yeah, and these songs really breathe. They
Yes.
really give each other enough space to really kind of um, just play. They just play in the rhythm. So that was really cool. Really cool to hear. Let's see. Next up, we had the Transition Logo Blues. What'd you think?
Believe it or not, this is a track I gave a slight ding to
Figured you would.
because it just didn't resonate as well as the tracks before it.
Hmm.
I gave this a B. It has this bluesy country feel to it, in my opinion.
Yep.
And while I dig the song, it did not put it in a situation where it was skippable for me.
Hmm.
Once again, going back to my statement, let this thing spin.
Yeah.
Even at this point, I'm not disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm not offended. To me, that track didn't resonate as well as everything before it at that point,
Yep.
but still a good track. Would you give it?
I gave it an A plus. Again, I like that chicken picking type country sound. I love the pedal steel guitar in that. It had a very the guitar's tone had like a Mark Knopfler feel from Dire
That
Straits.
makes sense. Yeah.
I really like this a lot. I gave it an A plus.
Good, good, good.
It was fun.
Okay. Track 7, Cascade Park.
Mm.
What was your thoughts on that one?
Well, this is my first kind of big ding. Well, it's not even no, it's not even a big ding. I gave it a B plus. The opening kind of reminds me of Battle of Evermore
Okay.
by Led Zeppelin. Nothing super special on this song, except for the acoustic guitar solo at about the 2 minute mark. It was good. It was really good. It's not a skippable thing by any means. It just, to me, it didn't stand out as much as a lot of this other stuff on here.
Okay. I gave it an A.
Hmm.
Another relaxing, dreamy tune is what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
And I dig it, man. I could find myself getting lost, sitting around daydreaming, listening to something like this. When I say dreamy, I mean, kind of daydreaming and
Mm-hmm.
hanging out. You know what I mean? Very light, easy to listen to. Digged it a lot, man.
Yeah.
Um, Track 8, Pick Peace. I believe
Pick
it's a
Peace, man.
reprise.
That's right.
What's your thoughts on that one, man?
I gave this an A. It's a really cool, jazzy, mellow vibe. Let's see, what the hell else did I put on here? The drum crashes towards the end were really cool. That went with like when he was hitting the crashes, they were going with the fucking riff, and
Mhm.
that was really cool. That was
Okay.
really cool on that. So I gave that an A.
Good deal. Good deal.
Again, I don't know who the drummer was on this, but he's man, he
Oh,
deserves a freaking
there's great players across the board on this.
yeah.
All the things were fitting in all the right places, man.
Yep.
This is I actually gave that an A. I love the guitar play here,
Hmm.
and the drum build was oh,
Yeah.
excellent.
The drums
Excellent.
were great in this whole
Excellent, man.
album.
Loved it. Loved it absolutely.
Yep. Next up we had Bad Cat Serenade.
Track number 9.
Yeah, wow. We're moving right along here. Um, see, I put in here, I gave it a B. It says reminds me of some music that's overlaid a walking sequence in an 80s movie. The drums are like a Law and Order episode, like the Law and Order theme song.
Okay.
Um, it could have been a little shorter for me. Um,
I can see that.
yeah, it's just again not skippable, but like, yeah, I didn't need it to be that long.
You didn't feel it resonate as well as
No, no, not at all.
I understand that. Bad Cat Serenade, right? I gave it an
Yep.
A. Mellow, groovy, another great track. I mean, for me, this thing just put out banger after
Hmm.
fucking banger at this point. I mean, it's no secret we're getting towards the end of this album with the last two
Yeah.
tracks. But at this point, man, I am so happy with this album.
Yeah.
Like being someone that purchases music through Bandcamp, I'm going to pick this up and add it to my instrumental collection for fucking sure. I
Yeah.
want to make that very clear. This is going to be a nice little addition to some of the stuff I play in traffic to be mellow,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yep.
Um, Track number 10, man, Corporate Eye. I found this to be probably one of the most intriguing titles.
Hmm.
I ended up giving this one an A. And it's funny you mentioned something about soundtrack on the last one. I
Yeah.
actually wrote on this one, this could be on a soundtrack,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
So that was my thoughts on that. I really, really like that. What were your thoughts on it, man?
Let's see. I gave it an A minus. It's kind of a boring start for me. I really liked the guitar soaring. It took a while to get to that point, but it ended up being a really cool tune, beautiful, and that got me. It was going to be like a B minus, but as it progressed, it really got itself up to an A minus. So
Yeah, there were songs like that on here for me, man, where it looked like it could have gotten taken down to about the B marker, but then
Mhm.
something come in and really redeemed it and made it like, whoa, hold on a second, whoa, like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I know what you're talking about there. There was a couple tracks like that for me as well, but in the fairness of the listening to the whole song and respecting what was done throughout the song, it gets a
Hmm.
fair, it gets the obvious fair rating.
Yeah.
Um, cool, man. Track number 11, the final
Wow.
track on the album,
Yeah, that's right.
Desert
Des
Man.
Desert Man. Um, a very nice closer. That's what I put on there.
Would you give it?
I gave it an A.
I gave it an A as well, man. I guess that a great closer, mellow, soothing, daydreaming. This daydreaming. If like I like the word that you used, ethereal guitars.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm all about this, man, and I could slip this into some of my softer animals as leaders stuff, softer Satriani, Steve Vai stuff.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I like this has no problem fitting in that realm of instrumental music for me.
Yep.
Now, it's not going to fit in my instrumental doom.
Hmm.
Doesn't it's this doesn't fit with Bong Ripper and shit like that.
No, 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 no. Completely different vibe.
Yeah. So, but I will say, anybody that knows me knows I love guitar. I
Mhm.
can't play guitar. You see, I own hundreds of them, but I can't play the motherfuckers. However, I love guitar and I love guitar sound and I've loved guitar sound since I was a kid. And I'm a huge Satriani fan, huge Steve Vai fan, huge fan of real technical players, but play with feel. You can be as technical as you want to be, but if you don't have the feel, there's no soul in the playing. And I've always felt that way.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what'd you give the album, man?
You know, with as much, this is going to sound kind of weird, but with as many A's as I gave this still, because it's a all instrumental album, I'm probably not going to go to this album specifically a whole bunch. However, if Tom and Guthrie ever put out another album, I would definitely listen to more stuff from them.
Mm.
So I can't give it a 10. I I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it at. Hmm, it's gonna seem low, but I'm not trying. I'm gonna put it at an 8. I really enjoy it, but I'm not gonna.
All those A's.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna listen to this a bunch. It's mainly instrumental stuff that I'm not. I'll listen to a song here and there, but I'm not gonna listen to this album much on its own.
An
I
eight?
yeah,
A fucking eight?
8.5, 8.5.
Don't let me influence your decision. If it's an eight,
No,
it's
eight
an
and a
eight.
half. I mean, it's like I'm not going to listen to this album a whole bunch.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah,
If you're not going to listen to it a whole bunch, but if they put out another album, you'd be willing to listen to that other
yeah,
album, and you find that other album just as decent as this one.
yeah,
Are you telling me these aren't worth adding into your collection of things to listen to instrumental? I know you've listened to the Born and the Club of War a few
yeah.
times.
And would I buy this album? No.
Whoa.
If it came on, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. But this isn't something that I'm going to enjoy a bunch. Like I'm not going to keep going back to it. I appreciate the
Understandable.
hell out of it.
Understandable. It just bums me out. Man,
No, no, it's not a dig. It's not a
an
nothing. It's
eight.
yeah, 8.5. I'll give it an 8.5.
I don't want to influence your decision. Don't
You're
don't let me
not.
influence your decision. You had to add
I'm
an
a grown
eight.
ass man. I can tell you it's an 8.5.
Uh,
And it's just because I don't listen to full instrumental albums a lot.
you
That's
should.
it.
You might find more peace in your life if you did.
Yeah,
Because I just reek of peace in my life,
that's
right?
right. That's
Well, I ain't gonna bullshit you and I ain't gonna pull no punches, man.
yeah.
Being somebody that loves instrumental music,
Mhm.
especially guitar work and great things, there's a lot of great players making great things happen on this album. This is probably one of the highest ratings I've given on the show. I'm
Okay.
going to give it a solid 9.75.
There you go.
And it's
Almost a 10.
and it's only because I can't ding it because it's just an instrumental album. I enjoy instrumental albums.
Yep.
When they're to my liking, obviously.
Yep.
However, with the one track getting dinged down to a B, I can't give it a perfect score. Do I
Right.
think it's a perfect album for everybody? No. Do I think that someone who is a lover of music and can appreciate great guitar work, ethereal, like you said, ethereal guitar works
Mm-hmm.
are dreamy, something mellow, something very easy to listen to? I think there's something on this album for everybody.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
might
that's
find
good.
you might find something you dig, whether it's a soundtrack style song, whether it's a Floyd style thing. Um, it's there.
Yep.
Blues, country style thing. There's a lot of good shit here, and it should definitely be investigated. If you like instrumental music, I would suggest checking this out whenever you can. And before we move on to the next one, so
Mm-hmm.
Bruce gave that one an 8.5. I gave it a 9.75. Before we move on to the next one, what are you drinking this evening, Bruce?
Well, I am drinking a little rum and coke. The rum is brought to you by ET51. Uh,
Extra testicle 51.
absolutely. Damn hair. Anyway,
See,
so
see, right
yeah,
off the sack.
that's right. What about you, my friend?
Sticking with the, trying to stay out of the alcohol for a second until I get over this freaking illness. But back to the Clockwork AF
There you go.
from Brewdog. I absolutely love this thing. It's become a staple at band practice so that I ain't driving home drunk, So, and for the most part at band practice, me and my guitar player, we stay
Hmm.
sober. So don't get me wrong, I still love my bourbon and everything, but I'm on all these medications right now. I can't have it. So
Yeah, yeah. So I give this rum. It's a solid 4.
5 for me
Yep.
all day long.
There you go.
Love this beer. Love this. People look at me and go, why would anybody drink non-alcoholic beer? Because non-alcoholic beer ain't what it used to be about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
All we had back in the day was O'Doul's. And let me tell you, drink a couple of these in between your regular beer drinking, you might find yourself able to drive home a little easier.
Ain't your daddy's
And
non-alcoholics.
ain't your daddy's non-alcoholics. All righty, man. That's one album review down and a
Yeah.
couple drink reviews there. With that being said, what's the next album, Bruce?
We have Doug Sam and his band,
Let's do it.
brought to us by Andy Sheernoff. Um, I don't know if you know much about Doug Sam, but he was highly regarded as a musical prodigy as a kid.
Right.
And he was, you know, a super talented guy. And he ended up breaking off on his own. And this was the debut album that they put out. And I believe it was in 1975, 75 or 73 when this came out. So to me, this is a really great blend of Western swing, blues, hippie rock and roll type stuff of that day. One of these days, I'm going to put some killer. I love Western swing music, love it. And I'm going to put some shit on you one of these days. It ain't going to be this week, but one of these days, you're going to get some killer Western swing.
And you're going to get punched in the face.
I'm telling you. Anyway,
Believe it or
so
not, that is
uh-huh.
probably my least favorite version of country.
No, I can see that.
The swing style.
I love Western swing. Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys. Oh,
maybe
my
you'll turn me on to
heart.
something I might like. Who
Oh,
knows?
my heart. Okay. Let's see.
Do you want my notes on the album?
Yeah, what do you think?
My notes on the album that I wrote were this: cool mix of country and blues, something on here for everyone. It's a solid album. Couldn't have been, in my personal opinion, and don't hold me to this. It could have produced the beginnings of Southern rock. I can see that spawning from some of the stuff off of this.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of players doing great things. Um, and they made a solid album.
Hmm.
Now there are certain things on the album that, certain aspects I wasn't a major fan of.
Hmm.
Um, the accordion being one. You know, certain accordion shit just does not resonate with me well. Kind of like with the Doors and the keyboards.
Yeah.
It just doesn't resonate with me for some reason.
I was wondering how he's gonna feel with that accordion.
Uh, it was all right. It was
We'll
all
get
right on
to
some. It was all right on some things, and eh. But let's get into the album.
There we go. We start off first with a cover of a Charlie Pride song. Is anybody going to San Antone? Because that is where Doug is from. Tone, what do you think?
I actually gave that an A, and I said it was a cool opener.
Okay.
Dug it, got me ready for, some aspects of the album because this does not set the pace for the whole album like some openers do.
Yeah.
And we'll get into
Uh,
that.
yeah, absolutely. I gave it an A plus. I love this song anyway, and Doug did a fantastic job on this. I said, very good cover. Definitely can tell a Western swing influence. And cool feature on this, Bob Dylan sang background vocals on this.
I saw that.
I love, I, I cannot tell you how much I love the background vocals, not only on this song, but a lot of other songs on this.
Dylan had his hands in quite a few songs on here
Yep,
from what I saw.
yep,
So I found that to be pretty interesting about the album as well.
yep,
Um, I gave that track an A and said it was a cool opener, man.
yeah.
I wasn't
Our,
familiar with it being a Charlie Pride song because
yep.
I'm not familiar with Charlie Pride.
Yeah, I was so excited when Andy gave us this album, and when I heard this first track, I was like, "Oh shit, this is right in my wheelhouse."
Yeah.
I love this
I,
shit.
I knew once I turned it on, I said, oh man, Bruce is going to dig this.
I love this
But
shit.
I was expecting it to be a lot of that. And we're going to get into that here
Yeah.
very shortly.
Yep. Yep. Next up, it's gonna be easy. I put in here. This could have been a really cool Waylon Jennings song. Great background and harmony vocals. I gave it an A plus, and I have been even before we went on air. I've been humming this song, the chorus to this song, all fucking week. I really dig this song.
Nice. I actually gave it an A. I said it was a good follow up and mellow, mellow,
Mellow,
mellow.
it's gonna be easy.
Dug it.
Yeah.
Track number 3, Your Friends. What did you do with this?
Oh fuck. Grimy. I loved it. A plus. Really gritty blues song. Such a cool Texas tone in that guitar. Um, Reminded me a lot of like Jimmy Vaughn and Billy Gibbons in that guitar tone. I fucking loved it. Loved it. Great blues song. A plus.
Good.
What about you?
I gave it an A plus as well.
There you go.
I said standout track, killer fucking blues. This was a standout track on this album
Yeah.
for me. And that's where we talk about, we've got this country thing going on and we've got this blues thing going on.
And then he
And
punched it.
They're clearly divisive and sometimes mesh. You're going to see that.
Yep.
But it was almost as if, and this is going to sound somewhat ignorant, and I apologize ahead of time. It was almost as if a bunch of Southern boys got together and a bunch of blues brothers got together and decided, you know what? We got enough players here. We got this big old band. We can do whatever we want with it. We can produce any sound that we want. Let's do it. Let's do this kind of a song. Let's do this kind of a song. And let's at some point kind of make those songs kind of interject.
Yeah.
And I thought this was a really cool dynamic across this album.
Yeah.
Just to interest, to that country and Western. We're going to see some swing country, like we mentioned. And then you got this whole real blues factor. Like there's no fake in the blues. This is a real blues factor. This isn't no, bullshit blues. This isn't no variation of blues. This is blues as blues gets.
Yep.
And I just thought it was really cool that they did this, man. I can't think of another album I can compare this to.
No, it's very it's got a theme, I guess, but it's very eclectic. I love it.
Oh yeah.
I love that begin when the song first begins, and I don't know, there might be like in a D major or something, and he yells out, "No, D," and then they hit the chord, the D chord, and then they go into it like, "Oh yeah, that's it. That's what we're going into."
Yeah.
And the I and again, you can tell that the band is playing live together, and with that many pieces together to sound that fucking good in one take,
Oh yeah.
fan fucking tastic.
Yeah. Excellent track, man. Probably my favorite track on the album.
Yeah. Let's see. Next up, we got Poison Love. Go
Um,
ahead.
I gave this a B.
I knew it.
Good song, upbeat, not a standout track to me.
Yeah. I gave it an A. Yeah, I love that Creole feel that it has to it. I love that juke joint piano that's on it. And it's a sing-along song. That poison love and da da da. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, I didn't find myself singing along with it.
We'll see. That's just our different backgrounds.
That's our different backgrounds. That's why we
Uh-huh.
do what we do.
That's what we do. Loved it. Next up is a Bob Dylan cover, Wallflower.
I gave it a B. I'm going to be
Why did
honest
you
with
give
you.
it B?
It's a good song, upbeat, but for me, it just wasn't a standout, man. Like for some reason, it just didn't resonate with me as well as I thought it was going to.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was a Bob Dylan cover. Um, it just didn't resonate with some like compare that to your friends. Like
Mm-hmm.
your friends is the gold standard so far, right? It just doesn't stand out like that, man, for me. It's a
Mm.
good song. It's not skippable.
Yeah,
It's not horrible.
I get that. Uh, I will say this. I ended up giving it an A, but my ding on it was that the vocals were kind of muddled in the production.
I think that was one of the other major issues I had with it.
That's kind of my big ding on it. Those vocals were not very clear.
Yeah.
I think if they were more in the forefront, this song would have come out better. Um, but it's a great sing along song. Wildflower, wildflower, da
Yeah.
da da da. I love
I can
it.
see that.
Yeah. Um, so I still gave it an A, but I do recognize that the muddled production on that was not great.
Right.
Yep.
And that might be why I got a major ding from me.
Yep.
Um, Track 6, Dealer's Blues. What'd you do with that?
This I really like this song as well. This is the first song on the album that Doug actually wrote. It's another A plus for me. It's very bluesy with some really cool horns on this song. I really enjoyed this song. What'd you think?
Killer bluesy track, another standout.
Yep.
I gave it an A.
Yep.
It it could be worthy of an A plus. I
Mm-hmm.
remember really, really liking that song.
No, I really enjoyed it too.
I liked it a lot, man. It is a very cool dope dealers blues track. I did it. I
Yeah.
dig it, man.
Yep.
Track number 7, Faded Love. How'd you treat
Mm.
that one?
Oh no, you know what? I want your take on it first.
I gave it a B.
Okay.
I gave it a B. I said it's a good swing country sound, not skippable.
Okay. I gave it a B minus. This was probably one of the there's two tracks on this album that were almost skippable. This is one of them.
Yeah.
I love Faded Love, and I love the original, and I love Ray Price's version, and I love all kinds of other versions. But musically, it was really good. But Doug's vocals are lazy, and you know, it really hurt the song.
I can agree with that.
The chorus and the harmonies are really good. But again, this is another Bob Wills cover, Texas Swing, and he just didn't do it justice. And if he just would have if he would have tweaked those vocals, I'd have loved this all day. But this is almost skippable because of his vocals.
Okay. All right. Track
But
number 8.
yep. Blues, Stay Away From Me. What'd you put on her?
Cool country blues style.
Mm-hmm.
Something I'm not super familiar with and
Mm-hmm.
hearing in this kind of variation. I gave it an A because it was
Okay.
new to my ears. I found it appeasing, and I dug it, man. I thought it was pretty damn cool.
Yep. I gave it an A as well. Very Stones like vibe. Very like Sticky Fingers era.
Dude, I meant to write that down.
Yep.
I meant to write that down. It
Yep.
kind of gave you that like right along the lines of Sister Morphine and shit like
Yep.
that.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I did
I
notice
really
that
like
too.
this song. It's kind of like little Texicana going on out on that song too. Solid A for me. Um, love that song.
Cool. Cool. Track number 9. Papa Ain't Salty.
Good T-Bone Walker cover. I gave it an A plus. Such a killer jam, dude. Such a killer jam. The Texas guitar strikes again. That tone, that style, fuck,
I
so
gave it
good.
I gave it an A.
Yeah,
Great blues track. Loved the horns.
yeah,
I believe there's a sax on there. Maybe. I don't know. I couldn't really distinguish right away, but the horn sound really kind of rounded the whole thing out and
yeah,
was the cherry on top for me.
yeah. All right. Next up, we got Me and Paul. It's a Willie Nelson cover. Um, we all know I'm a huge Willie Nelson fan, and this was a horrible, sloppy rendition of this fucking song. I hated it. I gave it a C. It's totally skippable. It was tired. It was just sloppy and just blech
I gave
for
it a
me.
B.
Okay.
And I said it's a good song. Had that almost country outlaw sound, which makes sense being a Willie song.
Almost. Yeah.
But I mean, I could see giving it a C.
Yeah.
It just it didn't resonate like the rest of the
No.
album, man. Like, and what sucks is like I like a lot of Willie stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I get the outlaw country sound. I do dig that stuff. Don't get it
Mm-hmm.
twisted. But it's like it just missed the mark
It,
in so many ways.
yep.
And you know what? I would have to, I understand completely why you had given it a C. I gave it a B because I felt that I could hear them making that effort,
Mm-hmm.
but it missed the mark. Being a B, this could be a skippable track for me as well.
Yeah.
It's not a B non-skippable.
Right.
You know what I
There's a
mean?
big difference.
There is a big difference. You know, it's not harsh enough for me to ding it to a C. If I get to the point of the album, it could be a 50-50. I'm going to skip it or not. So,
Yeah. Yep. All right.
being
Next up, we.
especially that it's towards the end, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Next up, we had Don't Turn Around. I gave it an A plus. This had a very 50s vibe. Nice, nice piano, vocals, great performance all around. This song actually reminded me of a Freddie Fender song called "Wasted Days and Wasted Nights."
Interesting.
I really like this song. I gave it an A plus.
I gave it an A. I stated another killer blues style track. Um, I dug it, man. We get back to a point in the album where things are kind of looking up, you know. And I think it was a very wise move on the part of whoever pieced together this. We talk about song placement. We talked about it last
Yeah.
week with the
Yep.
Dictators. Um, I think the song placement for this album really suited it well because in the dead spots, you know, it was able to bounce back with something fairly quickly that was, either a solid track or a standout track. So
Yeah. Yep.
that's why I'm not overly disappointed in the album. Track number 12, final track here. I Get Off. What'd you give that one?
I gave it an A plus. Really cool Louisiana vibe. There's a Tony Joe White song that Elvis copied called Polk Salad Annie. It has that vibe, some Motown blues in there. It's just a great closer.
I gave it an A, and I ring those same sentiments. It's a great closer and jam.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I really feel like this thing, if it wasn't prominent at the time or becoming prominent at the time, this could have really influenced the Southern rock thing.
Yeah.
It felt
Yep.
that Muscle Shoals style sound, if
Yep.
that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
So I digged it. Um, Once again, ringing the sentiments of cool mix of country and blues, something on this album for everyone. Lots of players doing great things and made a solid album. My only major complaints across the album are there were points and times at certain things I didn't really care for the sound of in the music. One of the biggest parts being the accordion. Love the horns and where they filled in on all of that. What was done here was done very well. So I find this to be a very, very solid album.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because there were dings um, in several of them, knocking down to a B. I'm going to rate this an 8.25.
Okay. That's about where I thought you would put it. Again, this isn't your main wheelhouse of
It's not a
stuff.
bad album. I mean,
No.
I definitely found it to be very interesting, and I because I gave it an 8.25. If somebody said, "Hey, man, you heard something from Doug Sam or whatever,
Yeah.
why don't you check this out?" I wouldn't be like, "Nah, man, I have no interest." You know what I mean? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I definitely checked out more stuff. He had a band previously called the Sir Douglas Quintet.
I saw that.
Yeah, really good stuff. Uh, kind of psychedelic swing. I really dig a lot of that stuff too. I gave it, and this is kind of interesting. I gave this like a 9.5, and it's kind of parallel how you on the first album you listen to more of the instrumental stuff and I don't. You really like this album, but because it's not in your main wheelhouse, you dinged it similar to what I did. You didn't have anything shitty to say about this album, but it's just like I'm not going to listen to this whole bunch because it's not
No,
your main style. But I could listen to this all damn day.
I'll say this. One of the things that's disappointing for me
Mm.
is we talk about DNA of
Mm-hmm.
singers, DNA of guitar players, DNA of drummers, and you can recognize this. If any of this ever came on the radio, I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
know who Doug Sam was.
Right.
He doesn't to me personally. There's just not. It's not a standout voice to me. There's nothing that really shines or makes me go, man, that dude's got a really unique voice.
I get that.
It seems I can't even put a point on it without it sounding ugly, and I don't want to sound ugly because it's not ugly. It's just there. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Nope. So you gave it an 8.25 and I gave it a 9.5.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah. I like that.
Pretty crazy, huh?
I like it.
It's crazy how things work out
Yeah.
between us. All right. Well, we got one more review for you to finish this Tri Megasode players. And once again, we'd like to mention first three people to leave a comment on tonight's video. We will send you via mail. We'll get your information and we will send you count them, two of the new Hooked on Sonic stickers we just picked up. You can throw them on your car. You can throw them on your guitar. You can throw them on a road case. You can throw them on your desk. You could throw them on your wife's rear end pocket if you want to.
or rear end
or rear end.
and send
That,
pictures.
and if you're willing to, we'll pay to get a bunch of them made so you can turn them into a hooked on Sonic's thong.
I tell you what, for you people that really love us, you tattoo our logo on your wife's ass. You'll be VIPs for life.
Anyone that does that, we will get you. We
Seek
will
mental
get you.
health.
We will get you. If you tattoo our logo on your ass, or even on you, we will get you a merch VIP kit, including a shirt, stickers, and a hat. And we don't even have hats yet.
Yeah.
All right.
To be fair, we don't have shirts either, but we
We're working
can
on
get
it.
those. Yes.
We can have that made for you. Okay.
All right.
All right. So remember to like, comment, subscribe. We want to hear from you guys.
Right.
With that being said, we're moving on to Imperial Drag, self-titled album. Any
That's
info
right.
on this, Bruce?
Well, yeah. So the album came out in '96, May of '96. A couple guys from a band called Jellyfish. Apparently, they were some psychedelic band that everyone loved. Eric Dover, the vocalist for this album, was actually in Slash's Snake Pit as well. So I did not know that. So
I saw that.
Yeah. See, I didn't realize that.
It's
So.
funny, the connections. It's
Mhm.
really, really funny, the connections. And you got to review a Slash album on the show.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it was /3.
okay.
Whatever I own up here, I'd have to look up there and take a look.
They start running together after a while. I will say this: kind of my initial couple reactions to this album is, I can't believe this wasn't bigger. And the vocals remind me of like if Jane's Addiction and Blind Melon had a baby. It fits right in there.
Man,
Very
we gotta have a talk about that.
to me, it's very. He has a distinct vocal all his own.
Mm-hmm.
But this should have been, man, goddamn, this album should have been bigger. It should have been bigger. I don't get it.
You want my words?
Please.
Great vocals, guitar work, lyrical content.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the date that this was released. This was 2 years after we were out of high school. Your class of '94, right?
Correct.
Okay. Think about what we were listening to at that time. What dropped around that time? What were major albums around that time?
In '96,
we probably were just coming off of or getting into a Metallica album. When was the Black Album released? 94?
no.
92.
Black Album was 91, 92.
So we would be waiting on Load or Reload.
Load.
Korn
was just coming out.
Right. The era of alternative that this would have fit into, it's almost as if they just missed the mark.
Maybe.
And I can understand, in a world that was so saturated with so much of this kind of thing, and they had their own thing. Let me make that very clear.
Yeah.
In a world that had so much of that going on, and I would venture to say it was probably really kind of making its way out the door, it's easy to see how this got missed. In my opinion, it's easy to see how this got missed, how maybe it not being properly promoted, something, because I mean, come on, it's '96. I didn't hear these dudes.
No.
We were young. We were listening to music at the time. We
Yep.
were in tune to a lot of different things. This was not one of them.
Nope.
And
nope.
I can see how it got missed. And I'm
See,
not saying,
I don't understand.
And I'm not saying that to be mean. the scene was saturated with a lot of stuff like this, man. And I'm not in disagreement with you on some of your sentiments. I'm going to get into that as well.
Mhm.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. First song was Zodiac Sign. What'd you think about it?
I gave it a B.
Wow.
Groovy opener. Had a bit of a Jane's Addiction feel right off the rip. That's
Mm-hmm.
where I started feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't find it to be a strong opener. Like
Huh.
it didn't grab me by the face, dude.
Really?
Dude, but see, a lot of alternative albums are like that for me.
Yeah.
They really, really, really are, dude. Like, let me ask you this. When you listen to some of that alternative style stuff, we talk about who is your mecca? Who is the mecca of alternative style music of that era? What do you
I
hold to as the gold
uh,
standard?
off the top of my head, I would say in no particular order, Nirvana, Offspring, and Foo Fighters. Just off top of my head. Weezer could
Foo
be a
Fighters, Foo Fighters and Nirvana don't make sense.
why?
Not the same era.
Of
Foo,
course they
Foo,
were.
Foo Fighters would come after Nirvana.
Right. After. Like a year
After
after. A year after.
Dave got busy with the Foo Fighters a year after
Yeah.
Cobain died.
Yeah.
I'm finding that hard to believe.
Okay.
Whatever.
Came out in 95.
And for me, we're on two total different planes when it comes to alternative.
Yeah, you're in more of the heavier shit.
No,
What?
the mecca for me is Smashing Pumpkins. The best
Ugh,
alternative album to this day for me will always be Smashing Pumpkins Siamese Dream.
no.
The guitar tone and everything across that album, that is the gold standard album for me when it comes to the alternative sound. Now, there are other alternative bands I liked out there, Eve Six, Jen Blossoms, uh, loved Todd Snyder back in the day, the
Oh yeah.
Cranberries and stuff like that. Jane's Addiction is an alternative style of music, but I found them to be one of those standout bands. Like when I think about those bands and that kind of, they label as that kind of alternative stuff. We were listening to CD 101 at the time, Jane's, the Divinals, and Cranberries
Mhm.
and Smashing Pumpkins are kind of like the mecca for me. I love those bands.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah.
You ever listen to any Garbage with Shirley Manson and the boys?
Stupid girl.
Yeah,
Boom,
you
boom,
know.
boom, boom.
And there
Yep.
was a lot, and there was a, and the scene was flooded with a lot of that different stuff at the time. You remember Soul
Yeah.
Coughing, Super Bon?
Nope.
Oh, dude,
I don't remember.
you want to hear a groovy track? Move upside, let the man go through, let the man go through. Move upside, let the man go through, let the man go. You got to check that track out. Super Bon
Okay.
Bon by fucking Soul Coughing. Uh, I think you're gonna like, dude, that's a groovy ass tune.
Yeah.
Trust me on
I,
this.
I probably would.
But
So,
it's easy for me personally to see
mhm.
how this got lost in the shuffle.
Okay. Let's see. Zodiac Sign. I actually gave it an A plus. I thought it was a fucking killer song. This should have been a single. I love the guitar solo. Just fucking killer. A plus on that. I love this song.
Cool.
Yeah.
Track number 2,
Boy
Boy
or
or
girl.
Girl. Well, well, well.
What? This was actually a
Well,
single. This was the single on this.
I saw that.
Got up to number 30.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's catchy.
Met her in a club down in Old Soho where you drink champagne and it tastes just like cherry
Cherry cola.
cola.
Not as catchy as that, but it is a catchy as hell song. I ended up giving it an A, but to me, Zodiac Sign is a way better song.
I gave it an A as well, and I stated it was a cool jam. Um, I didn't see anything really wrong with the song. I dug it.
Uh-huh.
Track number 3, Cross-Eyed.
Okay.
Now I'm going to tell you, I gave this one an A, upbeat grunge alternative with a pop feel
Mm-hmm.
is what I gave that.
Yeah.
What'd you give it?
I gave it an A plus. I said this should have been another single. Nice change up on the chorus. Uh, how it amps up just a little bit more. It's a standout track for me. I love this song.
Nice. Nice. I
Ba-dum,
think,
ba-dum, ba-dum.
dude, it was good.
Oh,
Oh, it was
yeah.
good. I liked it a lot.
Yep.
Track number 4, The Man in the Moon. How'd
Yeah.
you feel about that one?
I gave this another A plus. Super cool, dreamy slide opener. Really cool lyrics. Um, again, this should have been a single, especially back then. Um, ugh, so good. I love this song.
I gave it an A plus as well.
Yeah.
I said this is a standout track, and I love the effects on this
Yep.
track.
Yep.
Absolutely in love with the effects on this track. Track number 5, Breakfast by Tiger. Kiss It All Goodbye.
Mhm.
How'd you feel about that?
Well, this is my first little, I don't know. It's a B plus for me. I like the vocals and the chorus, but the riff is just kind of okay.
I gave it an
Just
A.
okay. Okay.
I gave it an A. Groovy poppy jam. Still like the alternative feel here.
Mhm.
I thought it was pretty cool, man. I did dig the riff. So
Yeah. Yeah. It was okay for me. Next up, we got Playboy After Dark.
give
What
this
say
one an
you?
A.
A?
Yep. I said it was driving, and the bass really stood out on this track
Ah!
for me, dude. I love the bass line. There's bass lines and runs on this track. Um, Pretty solid track, dude. I liked this a lot better than I thought I was going to.
Yeah.
You know,
That's funny because I gave it an A plus and I put great bass line and organ.
yeah.
This is a cool track.
This is a very cool track. I
And
did dig that a lot.
this reminds me too, I've said it before in previous episodes, but 90s bass players are super underrated. I love
We had
I
some
don't
great ones.
yeah, man. And this is
We
some
had we
great
had
bass
we
work.
had some great ones, dude. There were some
Yep.
great bass players through the 90s. And I venture to say in a lot of situations the bass players were better than the guitar players in the 90s.
Yeah.
There was a lot, especially in the alternative field, there was a lot of lazy guitar playing.
Yep. Well, remember, there for a while, having a guitar solo was out of style.
Yeah.
Like, ugh, a guitar
Even
solo.
even running just a little riff
Yep.
or a little lick
Yep.
was just, oh, it's too much of that flashy guitar work. We don't need all that. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
Illuminate, track number 7. I gave this one
Uh-huh.
an A. Great
Uh-huh.
vocals. The only major thing I had with this is the build never paid off.
Hmm.
There were
Okay.
several points where the music was, the drums and everything,
Uh-huh.
guitar was starting to build, and then it,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
and I'm waiting like, okay, this sounds like it's really kind of building up, and boom, I'm
Yeah.
like, come on, rock it for a second.
Just for a
But
second.
but it was still a good song. It was still a good
No.
song. I get not bad enough for me to ding. Would you give it?
I actually gave it an A plus. I agree with you on that sentiment, but I thought it was such a beautiful song with a powerful message about not giving up. I felt that the lyrical content and just the song structure made up for the rest of that stuff. I really enjoyed this song a lot.
Good.
All right, next up we got Spider.
Track number 8. How'd you fare well with that one?
I gave this an A. To me, this started off with a little bit of a Black Crows feel. It's a song about a drug dealer attracting kids to buy dope. I loved it. Gave it an A.
Sunshine in a Bag.
Uh huh.
I gave this one an A plus. Love this
Okay.
track. It could have been a single.
Yep.
That's exactly what I gave it.
Absolutely. Yep. I could absolutely see this as a single as well.
Track number 9, Overnight Sensation.
Uh huh.
I'm not going to pull no punches here. I done this. It's an all right pop style track, is what I put.
Okay.
What'd you do for it?
I gave it a B. I said not a bad song, just kind of boring.
Yep.
Yep.
Nothing nothing that majorly stood out. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't bad. It just
I'd probably
wasn't
skip it.
great.
Yeah, just
It's probably skippable. I'd agree with you there.
Yep. Next up, the Salvation Army Band.
You may not want to hear this.
No, I definitely want to hear this.
This was my first major ding.
Huh.
Gave it a C.
Okay.
The intro ruined the song completely for me.
It's a little weird and old timey.
Ruined it completely.
Huh.
They could have done away with the intro. They could have done anything but that intro. And this
Yeah.
song could have probably scored a little bit higher for me. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
Okay. I actually gave it a B plus. I said starts off really weird, old timey, then goes into a cool bluesy shuffle. Nice guitar solo in that.
I'm not in disagreement with you, but man, if I have to listen to that first part of the song,
See, I like that kind of weird shit,
I
so
I didn't feel it,
I'm
man.
good with it.
I didn't feel it.
I don't.
Dude. I didn't feel it at all.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm sorry, my nose is dry underneath here. Probably everyone thinks I'm sitting here bumping a line of coke over here or something.
We all got.
It's not a pinky, guys. It's not a pinky. So,
Shoot.
so let's go into Dandelion, track number 11. How'd you feel about that?
I gave this an A. It had a Beatles vibe.
Motherfucker, fuck you, man. Go for it. Just say what you got to say.
Yeah. Definitely a Beatles vibe with the acoustics very stripped down. I love that guitar, that slide guitar. It that just fits right for this song. I gave it an A. I really enjoy the song.
I gave it an A as well, and my sentiments were Beatles bluesy.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I did dig it, man. Man, that's funny. Sometimes we're in tune, sometimes we're totally out of tune. That's so funny. Track number 12, Stare into the Sun.
Oh, yeah, I gave this an A minus. Really cool. It had a deep purple beginning with that organ and the guitar riff kind of
Yeah.
together.
I was trying to figure out where I kind of felt that sound from. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. Here's my dig on this was I was kind of hoping for a tasty guitar solo to carry the song out. Kind of like what you were saying with what was it? I think it was Overnight Sensation, where you're like, man, I was really hoping for this thing kind of pick up and kick in. I was really hoping for a really cool. There was plenty of room towards the end of that song for a guitar solo to just fucking kick in there and just take it home
and ride it out.
Yeah, and it just didn't do it. So
I can understand that.
But the rest of it, I really enjoyed a lot. So I got to ding it a little. Gave it an A minus.
I actually gave this an A plus, and it was a killer track and probably my favorite track on the album.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I really dug this track. It was a standout for sure.
Yeah.
It was definitely a standout for sure. That and The Man in the Moon are probably my favorite tracks on the whole album. And it's a hard toss up between the two because I like them both for different reasons.
Yeah.
Track number 13, Scaredy Cats and Egomaniacs.
What a great title.
Great title. All right song. I gave it a B.
Ow. See, I gave it an A plus. A great riff, and the drums are cool. The drum fills on this song is killer. It's a good driving solo. And I said great closer. I really like this song.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I actually wrote beside this closer ?
Okay.
Because I listened to 14 tracks. Did you listen to 14 tracks?
No. That one was the last one for me.
Wow, there was a bonus track on the album.
Okay, I did not hear that one.
So that would have been Down with the Man. And this was the bonus track.
Okay.
I suggest you go listen to it.
Okay. Well, tell me what you think.
I gave it a D.
Oh, well, thank God I didn't waste my time.
I dung this super hard.
A D?
Yep. So we often talk about how certain vocal things we just don't care for. They're not pleasing
Yeah.
to our ears. My sentiments on this were the high vocals on this ruined the song for me.
Mm,
Could have been a B if not for those vocals. They felt forced. I did
gotcha.
not, and that's what brings me. Was that the closer? Was that the actual closer? Because if that was the actual closer, this album finished super weak for me. Um, I love the name of the title. I love every vocal part, but that high vocal part. You'll understand it when you listen to it.
Yeah.
It just is shrill on my nerves.
Yeah.
And I mean that with the utmost sincerity. I know a lot of people listen to people like King Diamond and stuff like that. I'm not a fan because there's that operatic vocal style doesn't work for me in all situations. No disrespect to the King. There are stuff that I like by the King. There's some early Merciful Fate stuff I really, really like. However, it's wearing. And the high vocals on this isn't quite operatic, I'd say, like that. They're just, to me, it was annoying.
Yeah.
Like annoying. Like it's like if it would have stayed in the same tone vocally without that high vocal thing going on, because it was really weird in spots too.
Hmm.
I couldn't dig it, man. I had a hard time with this one.
D Knowing that, okay, so you've heard the rest of the album. Do you feel that that song even fits with the album?
I think there are aspects of the album and lyrical content of the album, yeah, but that vocal, I don't
Yeah.
recall hearing anything else like that on the album. And I ask myself, why?
Yeah.
Why did we do that? Because it's something I personally don't appreciate.
Yeah.
And I think this album could have finished mediocre with a couple B's. Who knows? It could have been an A if they would have kept the vocal thing,
Yep.
the way that the normal vocal sounded. But man, it left a bad taste in my mouth at the end, dude. And that's just being honest. Um, and with that being said, that's why this album's going to get the lowest rating I've ever given any album.
Ever?
No,
I was
it's
gonna
going
say
it's
for
going to get the
one
low
song.
it's going to get the lower rating of the three. Um, and all things considered, there were some B's here. There was a C and a D here.
Okay.
When I score higher on the rating scale, there's usually not C's or D's,
Yep.
and a D is a heavy ding. That song could have possibly even have been an F at the end. It's something I never want to hear again.
Yeah.
Um, with that being said, I take into consideration that. I also take into consideration that the album is an alternative style feel, reminiscent of some of the soundscapes and things that were going on
Mm-hmm.
with that night, early to mid '90s alternative sound. And I think to myself, differently than you, obviously, I can see how this got lost in the shuffle,
Yeah.
and maybe it didn't break as big as it should have. I also think that looking back at some of the singles, I mean, there may have been one or two singles on here.
Just the one.
I think they went.
Official.
I think they went with the wrong one.
I agree. I agree.
I think track placement on this suffered.
Track
It,
placement, to me, track placement wasn't an issue.
so by way of comparison, the Doug Sahm Band, right?
Uh-huh.
I gave it an 8.25.
Yep.
Where it had dings, usually the next track would kind of pick things back up and redeem itself
Yeah.
in a solid way. This thing started mediocre and ended mediocre. There were some highlights,
Yeah.
but what I liked on here, I really, really liked. But what I didn't like sometimes was pretty bad, dude.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And
I
again,
and I get it. I get where you're coming from. How did this thing get lost? I'm gonna tell you how it got lost. They had two or three great tracks they could have singled out off of this, and they went with probably the weakest of the top tier tracks. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I think had they released Spider as the lead single
Mm-hmm.
and followed up with The Man in the Moon, this album probably would have been a very prominent thing in its time as that style of music was going out.
Yeah. And again, I think there's probably 3 or 4 singles off this.
Easily.
Uh, Zodiac Sign, Cross-Eyed, Spider, um, and Man in the Moon. And I don't care where you put those. It's just, I would put all those songs over Boy or a Girl.
I would put over Boy or a Girl, Man in the Moon,
Yep.
Illuminate. No, sorry. Man in the Moon, Spider, Dandelion, and Stare into the Sun.
Okay.
Those could. Now, I don't know. I wouldn't say that Stare into the Sun would be something that I would consider a single, but the other three I would.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I am actually going to give this album a 7.75.
7.75. Okay. I'm going to give this thing a solid 9.
We are definitely different in that one.
Yeah.
It's just
Well,
what
because you're saying that the first and last tracks are mediocre. I gave both of those A pluses. I love both those things.
so by way of comparison, we think about the big things, big tracks in the of the alternative scene,
uh-huh.
things that made the radio, things that became legendary. Do you really see any of that fitting into that category?
Yes, I think Cross-Eyed would definitely fit in that, and I definitely feel that Man in the Moon would have been a fucking hit.
I think if they would have brought Spider as the lead and followed up with Man in the Moon, that would have been the wisest thing the record company could have done.
You might not be wrong. I mean, you could definitely make that argument. You could definitely make that
Well,
argument.
think about it.
Yeah.
When you have your first single, you want it to be something that everybody can groove and vibe to.
Yeah.
Spider's going to be that. Then you want to soak in. You want to bring in some other people that, you know, that it can appease more ears. Man in the Moon would be that song.
Yeah, you definitely want to. Definitely don't want Man in the Moon to be the lead-off single.
No.
No, you want something a little more upbeat. Again.
So remember when we used to get cassettes?
Yep.
I would go Cross-Eyed, Man in the Moon, side A, Spider and Dandelion, side B.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And I think this album could have stood out. And in time, had we been a little bit more familiar with it, I think it probably would have gotten a higher rating from me.
Yeah. If you could have grown into it.
Yeah.
So to speak.
And those 4 songs could have helped me grow into the album.
Yep.
Kind of like going back and listening to some of the Soul Asylum stuff we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
We love the band. There's a lot of great stuff there. But, to say that we followed them throughout the years, we're both liars.
Right.
Listen to their recent release. It doesn't seem like they've lost the touch with who they are as a band.
Yep. Absolutely.
And their sound still sounds good to me. I love the new album.
Yep.
Well, that is 3 reviews. Bruce gave that a solid 9. I gave that a 7.75 for Imperial Drag. We want to thank you all for tuning in this evening, but it is now that time. And that time being, Bruce.
Yes.
Are you ready for your album for next week?
Absolutely.
I have thought long and hard. What have I not given you that I absolutely love as an album?
Okay.
And think that you should have a better ear on, or I'd at least like to hear your review. I am giving you my all-time favorite Typo Negative album, Bloody Kisses.
Okay. I remember seeing this album.
I am ready to fucking hear what you have got to say on this because Typo Negative remains one of my favorite bands of all time.
Okay.
And I can listen to any of their releases any day of the week.
Okay. Well, that ought to be fun. I can't wait to see it. Hear it. And I, sir, am giving you some pioneers in the, I don't know, maybe alternative thrash.
Let's hear it.
It is Red Cross. That's Reddkross. Teen Babes from Monsanto.
All right. And how'd you find out about these guys? Whoa, look at that cool album.
Oh yeah, that's the back. Here's the front. Um, I heard about them. My buddy Johnny um turned me on to him like, here, you got to hear this song. He sent it to me. I was like, fuck, that's killer. And then their early shit was just phenomenal. And then I heard a episode of Shout Out Loudcast where Tracy Guns was talking about some of his influences, and he brought up Red Cross, how Red Cross was the band back in the day
Really?
for him. Yeah, on that LA scene. So
I'm
they
looking
got,
forward to it.
and I believe somewhere down the line, Dale Grover had a part in this band.
Dale Crover.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Not on this album, but in this band. So I'll confirm that for next week.
Okay, cool. Well, with
Yeah,
that being said, we once again want to let you guys know first contest from Hooked on Sonics.
that's
First
right.
three people to comment down below at the YouTube video, we will email you two Hooked on Sonic stickers, one for your
Or just
car
regular mail.
or regular mail. Well, we can't. Yeah, we can't email them. Obviously, we're going to send you some snail mail with a couple Hooked on Sonic stickers,
Uh-huh.
and you know what? Maybe we'll throw in a CD or something. You never know. Something that we
Sure.
something that we've reviewed.
That's right. We'll figure it out. Just comment and you'll figure it out too.
Hey, Bruce has the stickers. He's got to get them to me.
That's
So I
right.
got to get my fair share of them.
That's
We're going to
right.
have some business cards for people when we see them out there on the scene. We look forward to hearing and seeing from all of you guys. Once again, like, comment, subscribe. We want to hear from you. Share this stuff with your friends. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Instagram. Share it wherever you can. TikTok, we don't care. Share it.
Yeah.
There's no copyright stuff here. Not that we're aware of. With that being said, you know, we love music. You love music. You know people who love music. Share us with them.
That's right.
I'm Tone,
I'm Bruce.
and we are your Hooked on Sonics podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
See you.